You guys play the new Mario Kart levels?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Actually, they're very fun. I played them only very briefly, but
I wanted to not have 3 city tracks and to
yeah,
have
that
other
Yeah,
tracks
I was
instead.
very upset about there being 2 tour. Because first of all of the tour levels are basically the same.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
And you
just like,
can
ooh, different every
reskin. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah, we're in Tokyo now. Like,
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
done with
care.
it.
Yeah, me
Done with
too.
it.
And then I felt
But
cheated when they gave us 2 and 1.
yeah,
yeah,
DK Summit though.
yeah.
Yeah,
DK
but I was
Summit
gonna
is
say
sweet, and Waluigi Mine or whatever, Waluigi
no,
Racetrack,
Waluigi
Waluigi
whatever.
Stadium.
Stadium. Yeah,
So that was my favorite course from the GameCube, and then DK Summit was my favorite from the Wii. And so I was pretty pumped about that. And then the
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island, if you guys have played
Yoshi's
Yoshi's
I
Island
love
one
Island,
that
is
it's
one.
perfect.
sweet. I
It's
love it.
so cute.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
very fun.
Yeah,
I
good.
I think the last round that they released were better. The last 2 cups,
yeah,
because they had the one where you go down the mountain, which I love, and then the 3DS Rainbow Road. Both are 3DS tracks, and
yeah.
that's the first Mario Kart game that I really played was Mario Kart 3DS.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know
Oh,
that.
anyway, we can talk about Steven Spielberg now.
prove it.
So welcome to Man Cave
Cares.
Movie Night. We're gonna play a game called "Is it a Steven Spielberg quote or is it a Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage quote?"
I feel like this is either going to
Oh,
be very easy or hard. Wait, are you meaning
yeah, the person or a movie
Steven
that he.
Spielberg
Steven
movie quote
Spielberg said this himself. Steven Spielberg
Okay.
himself said this,
or
or
any
something that
character
was
in
said
Venom
in the
2?
movie Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage.
Right.
So
Love it.
first one, we're gonna give it to Jared. This one is: every decision we ever make, who do we leave behind? And how do we leave them? Waiting in the darkness, but the rescue never comes.
Whoa. Jeez. You
What
know,
context would Steven Spielberg be
that's what
saying that
I'm
in on the
wondering.
red carpet?
I was waiting for
Who are
some
you
sort
wearing
of like,
tonight?
yeah,
Every
let
decision we
me
ever
address
make,
that
who do
with
we
my
leave
own
behind and how do we leave
question.
them?
It doesn't, I was waiting for something to, tip me off like
Yeah.
symbiote or
Right.
I am
It's not going to
Venom.
be that easy. Not yet, at
I'm
least.
gonna say though this is from Venom.
You are correct. You are correct. Well done.
Nice. Good
All
pick.
right. Next one is: whether in success or failure, I'm proud of every single movie I've directed.
Now I haven't seen Venom,
Wow, yeah.
but
I'm just let me play back Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage in my head really quick just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure that it's Steven Spielberg on this one.
That is correct.
Sweet.
All right, we're 1-1.
ooh,
Okay, Jared.
yeah.
I've always been very hopeful, which I guess isn't strange coming from me. I don't want to call myself an optimist. I want to say that I've always been full of hope. I've never lost that. I have a lot of hope for this country and for the entire world.
I'm gonna say that's Spielberg.
That is correct. Well
Gotta
done.
Yeah,
be.
no
Nice.
optimists in Venom.
In Venom,
No.
nope.
Everybody
It's too much
Notoriously,
hates
dialogue. There's
themselves.
not really any monologues in Venom 2 as well. I
They
guess that
hate
was
themselves and the
yeah,
audience.
it's a 3-word lines only.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
am Venom.
I am Venom. Let there be carnage.
Well,
Venom
that's
2. Let there be carnage. All right. Niall, this one's for
Counting
you.
can be hard for some people.
okay.
Even though I get older, what I do never get old, and that's what I keep think. Wait, okay, what? This is so.
Try one more
Okay,
time.
okay, okay.
This was
Even
Charlie
though I
Day.
get older, what I do never gets old, and that's what I think keeps me hungry.
Keeps me hungry.
I'll repeat it because it
That,
was
no. I
lovely.
got it. I got
Okay,
it. I got it. I'm also gonna go with Steven Spielberg on
that
this
is
one.
correct.
Nice.
Yeah, you tried to throw him off
I
with the
tried a little
hunger
bit.
line.
A little bit. All right, Jared, this one's for you.
Mhm.
Welcome back, Eddie Brock. It's been a long time. I miss you so much.
That's Venom.
That is Venom. Well done. Well
Okay.
done.
Okay,
All right. I thought
that was
maybe
a
that was going to be a curveball.
yeah.
Said by Steven Spielberg at the premiere of Venom 2 Let There Be
Yeah, he
Carnage.
was there.
Steven, could you read this for us real quick? Sure.
That's
Okay.
Steven Spielberg on Cameo.
This one is for Niall.
Yes.
You are real.
Oh.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure that that's Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage.
That is correct. Well done.
Nice.
But we can't prove that Steven also didn't say that, right?
We can't prove it. At some point in his life, he maybe has said, "You are real."
He
You
may
are
have said
real.
it. We can't. Yeah. Okay. Jared, this one's for you.
Mhm.
I like the smell of film. I just like knowing there's film going through the camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Steven on that guy.
Well done. That is a Steven Spielberg quote. All right,
Gotcha.
we're gonna
Alright.
do one more for Niall, and then one more for Jared, and then one more for Niall.
Great.
that it's
Because I was
even.
gonna say Jared started, so I don't really. But
Yeah.
then you cleaned it up.
Just so Jared can win.
Yeah.
Just so yeah. All right. I'm not a crazy man. I'm a real vengeful one.
Well, that's certainly Cletus Cassidy's line in Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage.
That is correct.
Nice.
Well done. That is correct. He did say that.
But can you say it like Woody Harrelson would?
He may have said that.
Well,
He-
with the amount of effort
Well,
that
do
Woody
you want me to say it
Harrelson
like he
put
would have said
in-
it?
Now, with the amount of effort that Woody Harrelson put into that movie and that totally phoned in performance,
That was
He said
probably
it-
similar.
pretty much
Probably,
exactly.
yeah. I don't have his
Just
accent,
said it.
but I probably nailed his cadence
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
delivery.
Okay.
Ugh.
All right, Jared, this one's for you.
Mhm.
Sometimes a dream almost whispers. It's never a shout. It never shouts. It's very hard to hear. I'll say that one more time because
I think when it's even a little bit put together, it makes me. I'm gonna go with Spielberg.
that is correct. Well done. Well done. All right, this is for all the
Woo!
beans, Niall. This is your last question.
I want every bean.
You
Okay.
might not get every bean.
When we first met, it was as if you unleashed a box of squirrels into the tree of my mind. And while we were apart, they clawed and scratched at my brain, telling me this day would come, and they will pay for what they did.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm also gonna go with Cletus Cassidy in Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage.
Well done. Yep, that is
Oh,
correct.
God.
That's
Nice.
a tie, guys.
Hey,
We got a
let's-
tie.
this is a
Yeah,
handshake.
good job.
handshake.
No, not you. Yeah, get
Oh.
out
Out of here.
Yeah,
Lucas.
me and I.
Well, I hope that was as entertaining for you guys as it was for me
It
because
wasn't.
I mean, I thought that was pretty tough. Some of those, you never know who it was, Venom 2 or Steven Spielberg. Join us next week for the same game again.
Oh,
we're
great.
gonna keep playing this until
Okay.
someone gets one wrong.
Exact same game.
And our sniffles.
Welcome back to Man Cave Movie Night. Shh, Niall, no more talking.
Sorry.
Hush.
I just remembered that I forgot to upload the video from last week, but I will do that as soon as we're done here. And
Wow.
I'll even throw in a bonus this week's video of it.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Great. That's a good bonus.
Woo.
To be fair, I've been out of town, and
Yeah,
also I
yeah.
forgot. So
No, but we talked about releasing the video a week later.
we could we could just make that
Something
the
to wait
excuse.
for.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to listen to it first and then watch it a week later,
Yeah, because you're gonna
that's
get
the
a little bit
dedication of a
something
true
extra.
fan.
Yeah.
That first one we put on YouTube has 7 views already. So I mean, it's totally worthwhile.
Whoa.
Oh, I didn't know that you even put one up.
Yeah, I said.
So
I
one
did
of
the
those
other
isn't
one.
even Niall.
No, it's not. It's not me
What?
either. I didn't watch it. We could check and see
I
how many.
started
It
it.
might have more.
I
even.
started it, but then I think I've already listened to it. So
Let me
But,
go
um,
look
and I also
really
did
quick
it.
to see.
I
It has
recorded
6 views, and then the one we put up 8 months ago of directors has 17 views.
Wow. See, the one that I'm seeing on mine is that the new one has 4 views. So
Oh, you're right. You're right. It has 4 views, but it was uploaded 6 days ago.
Uploaded
That's
6
my
days
mistake.
ago.
My
Yeah.
mistake. All right. Well, to the
Okay,
4 of you
well-
who watched it, we're gonna keep doing it just for you guys. So hopefully you appreciate that. But the reason we played that fun game was because
why?
we are going to be talking about Steven Spielberg, and
Yeah.
Steven
I thought we were gonna
Spielberg,
be
one of the
talking about Venom.
greatest of our time. Obviously, Venom 2, one of the greatest of our time as well.
Yeah,
But moving on from Venom, we're going to just solely talk about Steven Spielberg related properties and just kind of his life and things like that. So personally, I think Steven Spielberg sucks, but I do this podcast, so I decided that we have to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
We already
is
did
that
your
is ironic.
hero, Quentin
I was a joke.
Tarantino.
That was a little bit of a joke for you guys. I actually love Steven Spielberg.
Oh, we're doing jokes on here now.
Oh my gosh. Freedom
Yeah.
to do bits.
Wow.
I'm also wearing my Black Adam shirt.
I did
So
notice
that's
that.
very top of
Very
it,
cool.
supporting Steven Spielberg. I think it's interesting that the first
Says Black
property
Adam.
that you brought up in this episode after saying we were solely going to talk about Steven Spielberg properties was Black Adam. I just thought that was
he's
really
pretty
cool.
he produced it, so
Sure.
And they're both heroes.
they're
They are
With
both
an
heroes.
edge, though.
yeah, with a bit of a
With
Heroes
a bit
with
of
an
a
edge.
twist.
That
a
ruined the
twist.
song Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones.
yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So Steven Spielberg, I don't know if you guys watched the 95th Oscars last night.
I didn't.
He was nominated for a few awards and he didn't win any of them. So that's kind of cool as well.
Well,
But he's
really?
won before. So
He's
it's
won
like
before.
yeah,
yeah.
who cares?
they just throw him nominations
Let other people
just
have
for the
their
fun
turn.
of it. And that's the episode. That's it. That's all we got this week.
Great. Yeah.
That was so
That's all we
long.
have to say.
We just
That's
stared
just
at each
long
other.
enough for somebody to pull their phone out and be like, did they stop?
Did
it-
the episode actually just end?
Yeah. So much
Um,
dead air that you have to check. It's still
I had to
playing.
check to see if it was like an internet thing. I looked up and I was like, are they still moving?
So
Oh man.
yeah, anyway, I'm gonna just really quick before we get really into the questions, I'm gonna just talk about my personal favorite Steven
good,
Spielberg directed
good.
movie,
Finally, more
which
Lucas
is
talk.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love that movie so much. I love all the Indiana Jones movies except for the fourth one, which I think is fine. It's not horrible, but it's not good either.
And the fifth is going to be your favorite.
And the fifth,
of
of
course.
course, will take the top spot from one.
The dial. Yeah.
But Raiders of the Lost Ark, absolutely love. And I mean, Jaws and Jurassic Park are also on this list. So, I mean, he's got so many just phenomenal movies. But I think that one takes the cake for me personally. What about
Yeah.
you
Sorry,
guys?
you're gonna hear
I think-
some item rustling.
Good.
real
Oh,
quick.
okay.
I just real quick, my work laptop was on the counter and it does this thing where it just like kind of breathes every now and then. The fan will turn on for like half a second and it'll go "Woo,
Niall,
woo." So,
get back to work.
yeah, I know, seriously. I'm like, it's
Emails to
past 5
send.
o'clock. Get
Does it
off
give a
of my back.
shudder
Yeah.
of
So-
delight?
Just had to move that to where the microphone wouldn't pick it up. What were
Yeah.
you guys saying?
So
Well,
I was just gonna,
asking what you guys' favorite Steven Spielberg movies are before we.
yeah,
get into
and you know, we didn't really say what Steven Spielberg had done, but I think Lucas just listed a bunch. Obviously, if you don't know this name,
Yeah, it's pretty.
yeah, why are you even listening to a movie podcast? Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's to learn. Maybe
Maybe
it's to learn.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe
you're
you
like,
just
I
woke
don't
up
know much about
from a
Steven Spielberg.
50
In that case,
year
we've
coma.
failed. We've failed
know?
so far.
You heard some guy was directing Jaws 50 years ago or whatever, you know, and now you're waking up from your coma and you're like, hey, did that guy do anything? He did a lot of things.
He did a lot of things.
He did a lot.
58 directing things, according to IMDb.
He did 58 things. I think my favorite personally is Jaws.
Mm.
I was thinking of, as soon as you recommended this topic and I was talking about it with some friends and I was just like, man, why don't I just watch Jaws like way more? Right.
Yeah.
And like movies that take a little bit more effort to watch, you know, maybe they're a little bit slower or a little bit more, I don't know, dramatic.
They
This is just
take
a
more
a note.
mental energy.
Yeah, just across the board. Like, yeah, it takes a little bit more effort, but I always leave it really fulfilled and excited. Like I
Yeah.
tried to watch Bullet Train. Man, I did not like that movie.
You didn't like it? I really
enjoyed
liked it.
I know everyone said they liked it. I was like, at least it should be fun. And then I literally couldn't even watch the first half. I got to like
That's
50 minutes in
crazy.
and I was like, this is so boring.
Really?
so
Wow, I would have
uninteresting.
thought you would
Fun.
have enjoyed it because it's
So-
not boring. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyway,
You know what would have made it less boring?
if Steven
Is if the
Spielberg
bottom half
directed
of
it.
the screen was Subway Surfers.
Yeah, honestly,
Oh,
that would have been
man.
awesome if it was Subway
That
Surfers.
is a good point. And then the
If
top
it
half
was
was
someone-
like Minecraft.
Yeah, if someone was jumping
Yeah.
from Minecraft
And then you
blocks.
just hear the audio of Bullet Train and the words are appearing over Minecraft.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That could be
Yeah, I felt
good.
like this is not a review of Bullet Train, but I thought it was there's a lot of style and no substance, to which I like didn't care about anything
Oh, well,
going
you
on.
see, you didn't get to the second half, which is where the substance comes in.
Yeah, but I truly don't care. I'm gonna forget
Okay.
about that movie. I
All
already
right.
have.
All right.
Some guy was
Well,
named
hey, now
Tangerine.
Niall and I have a shared movie that we like that Jared doesn't.
Yeah,
Ah,
I
that's
don't
there
know
you
if
pretty
that's
go.
cool.
happened. No, it actually just kidding. That always happens. It's
Yeah.
Jared and I
Any
not liking a
Marvel
movie that Niall does like.
Yeah.
So we have to find a movie
Drive.
that Jared likes that Niall and I don't like.
Oh,
And I don't know if that movie even exists.
That's because I'm picky.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But
I like pretty much everything.
I like all of them.
All the movies, all of Steven Spielberg's
I
movies
like
who
all
we're
of Steven
talking about.
Spielberg's. Yep,
So
you got
Niall,
that
what
right.
about you? What's a good and fun Spielberg movie that you like to talk about, or that you like to watch? I guess or talk about.
Let's see. I like the ones that you guys said. Just kidding.
You have no
I
original
will
thought.
say other one. My favorite Steven Spielberg movie is probably Catch Me If You Can.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
that's
just
actually
love
a
that
good point.
movie
that's a
so
really good one.
much.
I do love that one as well.
There's something that's so magical about that movie that just makes me want to become an international criminal.
Honestly, when I was a kid, I was like, this would be so cool to
Yeah.
do what this kid does.
No, his life seems awesome when you're a kid, and now you watch it and you're like, oh, he's so depressing. But it's cool when you watch it as a kid.
Yeah,
And then, of course, another one that I want to bring up, mainly just because it's topical, The Fablemans was so good.
it is so good.
I loved that movie. And I just like, especially being someone who, for a lot of my life, I have wanted to be making movies or at least making something creative.
Mhm.
It just felt like, I don't know, it felt like it was speaking directly to me, you know? And I love it when a movie feels like it's made for me. And that one definitely felt that way. So I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I
That's
do
what I
too.
have to say about him.
I'm shocked you didn't say Schindler's List.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
think
seen
I
it.
think we should say as a podcast that's our favorite, just of the three
Yeah,
of us. You know,
it's our favorite. It's just it doesn't podcast well.
it doesn't
I
podcast well.
did you guys ever watch that?
No.
No.
It is a phenomenal movie. Like it's probably like his best work in terms of just like overall quality of filmmaking.
Yeah.
But it's very grim. But
Yeah.
it's an
I'm just not
incredible
trying to
Believe it or
be
not.
sad for like
yeah,
3
it's an
hours.
incredible movie. It's very, very well done. But then it's crazy that he's made that, but then also like E.T., which is like the funnest movie ever.
Yeah, and Ready
Yeah.
Player One.
And
Which
then Ready Player
also
One.
exists.
Yep.
Yep.
But just to throw this out there, a few more fun facts about
Do you
Steven
think
Spielberg.
they put from the maker of Schindler's List into the
In
trailers
front of
for
us.
Ready Player One?
Oh,
Yeah, they
man.
might have.
From the guys who brought you
From
Schindler's
the
List.
team that brought you Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan.
Get ready for Ready Player One, a movie that is 100% nostalgia bait.
It's the same as, yeah, I mean, Schindler's List is basically just a nostalgia bait as well.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why they got him.
I don't know if it's
That's
nostalgia.
So anyway, some fun
Anyway.
facts about Steven Spielberg. Let's, in case you don't know, because some people, like we said, don't know about Steven Spielberg. So here we are, 20 minutes in. We're gonna start educating you on Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
So,
great.
Who is
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg?
His
Lucas?
first movie
Why?
he directed
Why is he?
was called Duel, based off of a short film he made called Bullet. So that's kind of a fun fact.
Okay.
His first really big success was Jaws, and that was so successful that it basically started the trend of summer blockbusters. Summer was not really a time when big blockbuster like movies that studios expected to do well came out
Yeah.
until Jaws.
Everybody's
Jaws
outside
totally changed that.
playing on the swing sets and
Well,
Yep.
having a
and-
good time.
And that's why they call it blockbusters, is because when Jaws came out, people were actually lined up down the blocks and
Yep.
around, just
Mhm.
to try to get a ticket to see the movie.
Exactly. And then right after that, he made Close Encounters of a Third Kind, also a great movie. That was the movie that followed up Jaws. And then he had Raiders of the Lost Ark. He directed the first 4 Indiana Jones movies. He made E.T., he made Hook, he made Jurassic Park 1 and 2, Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can. And then more recently, I mean, honestly, his more recent movies were great too. He made War Horse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, The Post, West Side Story, and Fablemans, all of which are good.
The
He's
BFG.
obviously, I mean,
The BFG.
with a career as expansive as his, you're gonna have some duds. It's just inevitable.
The
The
BFG.
And
BFG.
so, the BFG he did direct, and Tintin, which I actually like Tintin,
Yeah,
but he did
Tintin's
make
good.
Ready Player One. War of the Worlds, I've heard is not great. I haven't watched it. But a couple of his movies that I haven't seen that I think look interesting are Artificial Intelligence. It's got Jude Law in it. It's like about AI and stuff. And then Munich, which was nominated for Best Picture but did not win. I think something stupid beat it. Fun fact about Saving Private Ryan as well is that it was projected to win Best Picture because it was the best movie that year, I would say. And then what beat it was Shakespeare in Love. So isn't that awesome
Hate
that
movie.
happened? That
That
movie
is great.
is so dumb, and
I
no one
hate
remembers
that
it or
movie.
cares about it at all.
Yeah.
And Saving Private Ryan is truly like one of the most iconic war movies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like on IMDb's top 100.
oh yeah, like pretty high up
Yeah.
too. On Letterboxd, it's got
Jeez.
a 4 point something, like 4,
Yeah,
4.2. So it's in the top 250 on Letterboxd as well. And it's just, oh man, it's so dumb that movie beat it. But the Oscars are like that every year. He didn't win this year, but I do think the movies that did win deserved to win. Everything Everywhere All at Once pretty much swept everything. Ke Kwan won, which was awesome, and Brendan Fraser won, which was awesome. But Oscars aside, let's get into some questions that we have about Steven Spielberg to ask each other.
Whoa.
Let's
Isn't that
go.
fun? Do you want me to ask my question
that was
first?
segue queen status
Thank you.
because it was like not like
you
really
can see my halo and crown,
like Halo. You're like a Renaissance queen.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, what's up?
So, at questions, do we want to do my question first, or is there a better one you think would be better to do first?
I can't remember what either of your questions are. So
I'll go with mine first.
Okay, let's hear it, Jared.
So we just because we just listed like every movie he's done. Obviously, there's more to that. I mean, you can't be working for that long and not have made
43 movies.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Yeah, we got a number. So in those movies, and even just in cinema, like as we know it, there are so many iconic shots, and not just like iconic Spielberg shots, like from his movies, but just timeless across the board. You think of like the best shots ever put on the screen, and a lot of them come from these movies.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite favorite or most iconic shot from a Spielberg movie?
Yeah. And it's also important to note that kind of every Spielberg movie has at least the one shot where you're like, oh, that's the shot of this movie, even up to the Fablemans. There's like kind of a discussion of like, okay, this scene is the Spielberg shot of the movie, my answer, I feel like there's an easy answer, but then there's the one that I want to say. You
can't say both because you might steal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the one that I want to say.
Yeah, say what you want to say.
I don't think that I'm actually winning the contest of the most iconic shot.
Okay.
But in terms of like maybe most influential shot is what I'll go with. And that is the dolly zoom shot in Jaws, where it's zooming in on his face, because that was like a pretty innovative thing to do, and it has been in like, I would say maybe 80% of movies that came after Jaws. That kind of camera motion is like standard now. But in that shot, you're seeing film history in the cinematography of it, not just in the context of the scene or anything. But then also it's not just there because they were like, oh, look at this cool thing that we're doing. It's there because it does such a good job of making the viewer feel what the character in the scene is feeling. And that's what cinematography, that's one of the main roles of cinematography, is to give the audience a certain feeling so that they connect harder with the story that's happening. And that scene is like a perfect example of cinematography just doing its job as well as it possibly can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the moment when Chief Brody sees like the shark attack happening,
Yep.
or like realizing
What's happening,
exactly
fully.
what's going down. And yeah, it hits, like a ton of bricks
Oh,
on
yeah.
him and on the audience. It's great.
Cool. My turn.
Lucas, yeah.
Cool.
There's only
three of us,
there's
and one of
only
us
you.
already went, and then you're the last. Okay, so my favorite, maybe one of the most iconic, certainly, but just again for like the technical aspect of it, but just the how cool it is in the movie is in Jurassic Park when they're in the like cars and everything, and the water in the cup starts to pulsate,
Yeah.
and they're like, whoa, what's happening? And then the T-Rex just tears through that fence and just belts out a huge roar, and the kids go crazy. But just that shot of the T-Rex getting through the fence and just roaring like that is so cool, because that had never been done. Even like there's not even a comparable like CGI moment up until that, when that happens in that movie, because that was really the first movie where CGI was fully implemented to create like characters in the movie, and the dinosaurs, I would say, like, are characters.
Big time.
And so it's just such a cool thing, because then it's really established like this is a horror movie, like this truly is scary. And because some stuff will shy away from showing the monster or whatever, and it does a good job of doing that with the velociraptors a little bit. But then when the T-Rex is finally revealed, it's just such an amazing payoff, and it's just, it's so crisp. So that's one of my, I don't know if it's definitely one of my favorite Spielberg shots. There's so many to choose from.
Good answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I think visually, both of those are very powerful. I had a couple in mind, but I've got to go to try to match that visual element. I think you can't go wrong with E.T., the bike.
Yep.
Flying
that was
in
the
front
one
of the
I was
moon.
gonna say. Was like, that's the right answer.
And that's his like logo for his production company.
For
So,
yeah, like imagine that, you create like a portrait basically on film that's becomes your logo because of just how visually immediately recognizable. It's striking and beautiful in all the ways you want like your film to be. I know there's like I don't know if it's a YouTube channel or a Twitter page or something called Every Frame a Painting.
Oh, right? It's a YouTube,
yeah, and that's just, I think, exactly how I would describe it. It's just a painting. And I don't know, I think like all three of those are very powerful, and so that shows again exactly how much work has to go into building these moments, right? Whether it's a moment that hits the character really well, right? A shot that really digs into the character, a shot that builds suspense, right? With the water and everything, or a shot that kind of gives you a cinematic kind of climax to a chase, and he does all of it super well.
The range is endless. And then also, to go off of that shot more, there are not many shots from film that you can show pretty much anyone in the world that doesn't include like the face of a character or like words or something that give you context. And I would say that everyone you show that picture to will be like, well, yeah, that's E.T.
Yeah. Even people who haven't seen E.T. would know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need, like, that is just, it has transcended the story that it's from to become that one shot is its own piece of pop culture. And that's insane. Like, shots like that don't really happen,
Yeah, I wish they would happen more.
Yeah, big time.
But that's my first question. I think now that we set up the movies, we went into the shots, but now we can kind of dive into a couple more creative ones.
Yeah,
nice,
big time.
Jared, do you want to do yours?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant Niall. I went man, Jared, but I
Is
meant
mine
Niall.
better to go right now?
I can do mine.
What do you prefer?
I'll do
This
mine.
Yeah, this is you.
I'll do mine.
This is you.
Okay,
It's fine.
great. Great.
So my
I
question
hope it's
is, it is good. It's a fun and good one. What is a movie that Steven Spielberg did not direct that he could have or should have directed?
Hmm.
That's a dang good question.
It is a
Yep.
damn good question.
And maybe I'll wait for a second, because the movies that come to my mind initially are the ones that I think are still very playful. Like I think he has such a great energy in all of his movies. Obviously, like Jaws and Jurassic Park are more kind of horror,
Yeah.
but I think they're still fun.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. There's like I don't know if playful
yeah,
is quite the right, but definitely he is playful in a lot of his movies.
yeah,
Just not really Jaws and Jurassic Park.
right.
I mean, like, you think Schindler's List, the first word that comes to your head is playful. So
right. Well, the first
Right.
movie that came to same with the Saving Private Ryan. That first scene I'm watching,
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
wow,
playful.
woo,
You're like, oh my goodness.
They could be
It just makes you
skipping-
wish you lived in the movie.
But my first thought was Goonies, and I know he produced that one.
Yeah, and wrote it.
And he wrote it, yeah. So I'm trying to find a movie that kind of captures that same
Like say, like a
energy.
Sandlot or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Sandlot would be great. You know,
Yeah, there you go.
that's my answer, I guess.
That's a pretty good answer.
Sandlot, yeah. That is.
Yeah. I think we'll stick with that. I know it's not a fantastical journey, but I don't
but
think
would
it
work.
really
Like
needs
he
to
could
be.
totally do a good job. Like it'd be fun.
Yeah, there's still those elements of the beast. Is that what they call? What do they call the dog?
The Beast, yeah.
Is it
The
the
Beast,
beast?
yeah.
Yeah. Building suspense, a fun chase sequence in it. Come on, how was this not Steven Spielberg?
Seriously.
Could have been.
Just put John Williams on the score as well, and then you're great.
That would have been sweet.
If I come up with another one,
You'll lob it.
I'll throw it.
Yeah, just look up fun kid movies that have children in it.
Boss Baby 2.
Stand By Me is another one that he could do.
I have my
It's only
answer.
fun, but
Yeah.
Let's hear.
This is a bold answer.
Ooh.
So stick with me. Okay. But The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, wow. Interesting.
Now, I'm not saying
Yeah, because that one needed to be
he would have done
redone.
it better. I'm not saying number one, the IMDb number one movie of all time could have been just better. I don't think that, but I think that Steven Spielberg would have just nailed that movie.
Yeah.
Like if you had heard back then, if you were a fan of like Stephen King and you find out, oh, Steven Spielberg's directing the Shawshank Redemption movie, you'd be like, all right, sweet. This is going to be super, super good. Not to say that Frank Darabont didn't do a great job, but Steven Spielberg would have absolutely crushed that movie. True. I also, I won't say it now just in case it undercuts someone's answer, but I have an entire director who you could just replace with Steven Spielberg and it would always.
It would just
always work. Well, let me. I do have one.
Okay, let's hear
it. Sandlot's a great answer, first of all.
Sandlot's a very good answer.
Again, I want one that's kind of has a playful energy to it.
Yeah.
Maybe has a little bit some parts that are a little darker, right? Some parts that are fantastical and whimsical. And what better movie than The Princess Bride?
Oh.
Now I know that's a classic, and I know it's really, really great. But that energy, I think he would keep it alive. He could have directed it. That was part of the question. And it would have been like truly just as good. I don't know if I'd say it's better, like Niall was saying, but it would have been different. And if they were to remake it, seeing with how delicately he handled the West Side Story remake, making it honestly just as good as the original, if not better in some ways.
Yeah.
And also treating it with new interpretations and making it
respect.
like giving it clear connections to things that are going on now in the world. Like he does a very good job of keeping it the way that it should be, but also making alterations just to make it like, but remember that Steven Spielberg's the best. So
Yeah.
Right. So I think if they were to remake it, he would be my pick.
good
Nice.
answer.
Very good answer. I've got a couple answers. So first one is that there was a rumor going around for a little bit that Steven Spielberg was in talks to direct the new Fantastic Four movie. That he was like, that Marvel had asked him at least. And I think that he would do a great job. I think a Fantastic Four movie directed by Steven Spielberg would be awesome. That would be so cool. He would be so good for it. It's exactly like Jared was saying, which just the like whimsical, just like friendly, just that side of it would be awesome. I think Matt Shakman is going to do a great job. I am genuinely excited for him to be directing it. However, I do think Steven Spielberg would be awesome to have direct that. But it totally makes sense why he didn't, because he's Steven Spielberg. He can do whatever he wants, and if he doesn't want to do a Marvel movie, he's not going to. Right. But the one that I do genuinely think he should have done is Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, and that I see. The funny thing is, actually, George Lucas did ask him to direct the prequels.
Right?
He asked a lot of his friends. He asked him. He asked Brian De Palma,
nah.
Ron Howard.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, all his buddies.
Pass.
From Martin Scorsese, I'm sure he asked as well. All his friends from film school and just like hit that era from the 70s.
Keep Liam Neeson in it. Dude, that'd be sick.
Anakin Skywalker sounds like this.
I think Anakin Skywalker. And he pulls out a pistol and shoots
not
someone.
Just the men, but the women and the children too.
So, I mean, it was pretty obvious why they didn't at the time, because with the prequels, there was only the original trilogy. There was nothing else. It was just a perfect trilogy of movies that everyone loved. And so, of course, him and everyone else were shying away like, no way, there's no shot. Funnily enough, Ron Howard actually did end up directing a Star Wars movie in Solo.
Directing half of a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. But Steven Spielberg, I think, would have brought great energy to these new Star Wars movies. And I think he would have brought a great voice to the script and the production side of it that it just desperately needed. Obviously, we've talked about how it needed just a consistent director throughout all three. And if he had been the one to do it, they would have been awesome. People would have seen them. People would have been blown away by the fact that Steven Spielberg was making Star Wars movies. And it would have worked so well. J.J. Abrams, I think, did a great job with episode 7, but just the disparagement between 7, 8, and 9 just are so tragic. But that's my answer. It's those new Star Wars movies.
Do you want to hear my answer of total director replacement?
Yeah,
I would love to.
Check this out. Once again, not all of them are what he would have done better, but he could have done all of these movies. Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah.
Get Steven Spielberg directing Back to the Future.
Yep.
Or Forrest Gump. Or Castaway. Like all of them. It's just he could do it.
Same with J.J. Abrams, honestly. He could totally replace J.J. Abrams.
Big time.
Because he hasn't directed that many things, but the Star Trek movies, he totally could have done. Star Wars, obviously, we talked about. And then the Mission Impossible one that he made. And then Super 8. Super 8 is a very Spielberg-esque movie anyway. Like he actually produced that. But yeah, kind of wild.
Kind of wild indeed. I've got a question.
Hey, Niall has a question.
Hey, Niall.
Is it about ham again? We don't want to hear about your dumb ham.
Stop asking ham-related questions.
Ham questions
no
this
pork
week.
At all.
The polls are in. The audience also doesn't like the ham questions.
Thanks for backing us up, guys.
Thank you. We were getting so
disappointed. But my question is, this is my second choice of question, of course. Behind what ham would Steven Spielberg have directed the best?
Which ham?
Hickory
Which
honey.
form of ham would Steven Spielberg taste like?
Listen, if your answer for what he would have directed best is anything but Black Forest ham, we're gonna have a problem.
I don't know. Sweet ham is pretty high up there.
But listen,
yeah.
Here's my actual question. Let's not get into it.
Let's not get into that because that was going to be a heated debate.
Yeah,
I could tell already.
It could get real hot real quick.
Yeah, it's good we deterred that.
In 300 years, when
we're still alive,
when all is forgotten of our era, except for the few true gems of pop culture that have survived World Wars 3 through 9.
Oh boy,
no.
that's
Yeah,
pessimistic.
lots coming in the next 300
In the
years.
next 300 years, there's going to be 7 more
I have
World Wars.
seen the future. I have seen into 300 years from now, and it's not good. But the one thing that I haven't seen out of the next 300 years is which Steven Spielberg movie will have survived. Which is the one that, after all the others have fallen away, is going to be the one that's remembered by society.
It's a good question. I think
I do have an answer for this.
go for it. You can
I
go
do
first.
think it's Schindler's List. I think Schindler's List is the one that's going to outlast him. And I think he knows that too. I think that's the one that history is going to remember because of just how poignant and well made it is. Like, as he was making it, he had this idea that he wanted to make, about the idea of Oscar Schindler and just like that whole list, because it was about the Holocaust, but it was about like kind of a hopeful piece of the Holocaust. And as ironic as that is, it is a very like uplifting story in the end, even though it's just surrounded by the worst thing to ever happen. And so I think that is the one that is going to be just remembered. And there's actually a really interesting quote where, when he showed John Williams a cut of it, before there was any music, like there might have been some temp stuff, he was like, John Williams was so moved, and he was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not good enough to do this. And Steven Spielberg said, I know, but you are the best one alive that can do it. And so, yeah, he was basically just like, he told him that he was the best composer alive, but he also told him that, like, this is like way too moving of a project, but you're going to do a great job ultimately. But
Hans Zimmer could have done well too.
Yeah, it really needed a Hans Zimmer-esque approach. I don't even think he was really relevant yet in
Danny Elfman.
93. Yeah, no.
Danny Elfman.
But yeah, just everything about the movie is just so professional and well done, and just very respectful. And yeah, I think it's not. I have a couple of friends of mine who rated Schindler's List 4 stars. Like, what? Come on. Really? What? Okay, whatever. That's unrelated, but that's so annoying to me.
That's frustrating.
Anyway,
Hey,
Schindler's List is my answer, and I think it's the correct answer. However, I would love to hear what you guys have to say, because you haven't seen it. So
yeah, I don't know, maybe.
My intuition also told me that it'd be Schindler's List, just because that also has so much historical relevance. People aren't like, oh, remember when there was that actual island with dinosaurs on it? Huh?
Oh, yeah. Of course. The Jurassic Park made that movie based on it. So
that exactly. No, so I mean, clearly there's so much relevance there. My answer will actually be Jurassic Park, though.
Nice.
As far as moving away from Schindler's List. I think that one specifically because of their, we were in a time when it was revolutionary, right? These, huge dinosaurs, almost all practical. I know they have some shots and stuff that aren't, but I think that reliance on practical, dinosaurs, practical effects throughout is not going to date it as much as like maybe some other
movie within the last few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting out CGI'd by a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be watching as much like Quantumania as we are
in 300 years. Dude, no shot. That will be forgotten in 3 weeks. It already has been forgotten. People don't even know that movie exists.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, Jurassic Park as a story as well is so compelling, thrilling, exciting, right? It's just a really, really well told story about kind of like greed and how timeless that is, and about nature. And so I don't know. I think when we lose all of our nature to greed in the future, and also when dinosaurs come back as part
Yeah.
of the efforts of World War VIII.
Right.
It will be even more poignant.
It'll
World
be
War
poignant.
VIII, which is fought over V-Bucks.
You can buy dinosaurs with V-Bucks. V-Bucks
Yeah.
replace all currency on Earth.
So,
V-Bucks and Royale tokens.
Ugh.
but yeah, I don't know. That's my answer.
Cool. That's a great answer.
Very good answer.
That is a very good answer.
I'm with you guys on both of those.
Oh,
I'm gonna say another one, kind of for the sake of just having an argument.
Diversity. Yeah.
yeah. So we have to defend ours and say why yours is wrong. Is that what you're
It's a
saying?
debate podcast.
It's now a debate now.
Yeah. There will be a second portion where you can have your rebuttals.
Okay.
Good. Nice.
No, my answer is Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
The Raider.
The Raider of the Lost
The Raider
Indiana
of-
Jones the Raider of the Lost Ark.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the reason that
there's
I
no
say that,
alliteration, so I don't know if it's going to stick as much as
Yeah,
the
that's
Isle of
true.
Destiny, but
Indiana
Oh,
Jones, the investigator of
the Lost Raider.
the
Lost
Raider
Raider.
investigator.
That's
Um,
really good.
It's pretty good. The reason that I say that is more than anything, the creation of the character himself,
Mhm.
of Indiana Jones, such a significant part of film history is like that character, and Indiana Jones existing and being one of those, again, everything about Indiana Jones is one of those things that you could probably show a child nowadays that has never seen any Indiana Jones movie the music from Indiana Jones, and maybe they wouldn't even know what it's from, but they'd be like, I know that. Like, yeah, everybody has heard that. It's transcended what it's a part of. And I think that as part of that, it's just kind of a piece of culture that is always going to be remembered. And I'll also make another point. I think that it's going to be remembered. I think it's going to be forgotten from 250 years from now until 300 years.
And then it will be
And then
remembered.
And somebody is going to be like an archaeologist, like Indiana Jones, and they're going to find a copy of it.
Oh.
And then it's going to be reignited.
Interesting. Very cool idea.
Thank you.
They're
I'm
gonna
going to make a movie about it called Indiana Jones, the Raider Investigator.
They're going to switch. They've got like a dinosaur egg that they have from the last war, and they're going to switch it with a Blu-ray copy of
Raiders.
of Raiders.
This Blu-ray dinosaurs.
But he's gonna
existing in
open
the
it up,
Blu-ray
and
is
it's
still
gonna
the
be a copy
standard
of-
format.
No,
He's
well,
gonna-
watching movies.
well, he's gonna
because he's
open
in
it.
some sort of like
Oh yeah,
archaeological-
crypt or dungeon or
Yeah.
something.
And he's going to open it, and it's actually going to be a copy of Mario Kart Wii because somebody was mixing their cases and discs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how the movie ends.
Mario
Yeah.
Kart Wii.
So Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Oscars last night, and he did a very good job. He was actually very funny.
That's a
Hey,
good
get on him.
segue, Lucas.
Let me just
Organic.
finish my thought, and I'll tell you why it is a good segue, okay? So I was prefacing the idea that he hosted and he did a good job. And one of the jokes he made was, if you've never made love to the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack, you should try it because it's amazing. And I thought that was very funny because he was talking about John Williams because he's the most nominated person as of this year, and
Ever?
oldest person to be nominated. And he has been nominated more times than anyone
I feel
except
like
for Walt
Humphrey
Disney.
Bogart is older than him now,
Humphrey Bogart is not alive.
but he's older than him, and he was
He-
nominated.
Yeah, that's true, but not more times. No, at the age at which he was nominated. Humphrey Bogart was not nominated recently. John Williams was.
I know. I know.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know.
Continue with what you were saying.
That's the end of the thought. That
Oh,
was, that was
okay.
it.
Oh, okay.
That's a funny
Um,
joke.
Yeah. Anyway,
job, Jimmy
so
Kimmel.
there is one other thing from the Oscars, which is Harrison Ford presented the Best Picture. He was the one
Oh,
who
I
read
didn't
the
know
envelope,
that.
which is cool. And I was thinking,
Did
man,
he
it would
seem
be
like he wanted to be there, or did he
No,
seem pretty
of
grumpy?
course he's always annoyed.
Okay.
But I thought
Yeah.
it would be really funny if he's on stage presenting and he just like he prefaces it a little bit, they'd always say something. If he's like, Yeah, Indiana Jones 5 comes out this year, and I die at the end.
Like he
If it
just
just
says
spoiled the ending of the
That would be
movie,
so funny.
that would be
Uh,
hilarious.
yeah.
And
Just
we're
because
bringing
what would they be able
Shia
to do?
LaBeouf back on.
They couldn't stop him. They couldn't
Yeah.
take his money. Like he's Harrison Ford. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And if he had done that would have just been so funny. He
And
wouldn't,
he
obviously,
wants to
but
do Shrinking on
yeah.
Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
And he wants
Go
to join
check
the
it out.
MCU as a character who had already been in it.
As President Thaddeus Ross,
Yep.
which is
Slash
pretty
Red Hulk,
sick.
probably. He'll probably
Hopefully.
become Red Hulk.
I'm so down for that.
Me too. But you know what? Steven Spielberg, guys. What a cool and good guy. Great director, great producer, even. He doesn't write that much, but when he does, it's great. He wrote The Fablemans, he wrote Goonies, he wrote
Yeah.
Venom 2.
I like him because he's never been mean to me.
I actually like that about him as well. I saw
Me
Steven
too.
Spielberg once, actually. He was driving by in a go-kart or a golf cart.
Throwing shells
Throwing
at
bananas.
other vehicles.
No, it was after the Oscars in LA, and we were outside the Dolby Theater, and he and Meryl Streep were next to each other being driven in a golf cart past us. And I was like, hey, look, that's
You're
Steven
like,
Spielberg and Meryl
whoa.
Streep. Yeah, it was very
That's
surreal. I was like,
crazy.
whoa, that's them. And that's all I have to say about him.
All right.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
you guys
mean,
have
I
anything
like
else you
him.
want to say?
I like him a lot.
I don't.
He's probably my favorite.
He's one of my favorite directors for sure. He's great.
You can't beat him.
He's one
It's
of the
hard to,
greatest
at
of all
least.
times. There's no denying it.
And like they say, if you can't beat him, join him. That's why he and I will be co-directing all of his projects from now on.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
That's
I'm
a
really glad
huge
you were able to land
announcement.
that gig.
Yeah. It
We should have
was
said at the
hard for me
beginning,
to
stay
keep it
tuned
in.
for an
It was
announcement.
hard to keep it in for the whole time.
Yeah,
Well,
should we
I
throw
don't
a
want people to
news?
just listen just for the announcement. That's
Yeah, of
why
course,
we didn't
of
say
course.
it.
Yeah, that's.
I want
yeah,
people to
no.
listen because they like the show. And if
We'll
they
put it in the
made
title
this
though,
far,
just so
then
that they're waiting for it.
congratulations. You
Yeah.
know that I'm going to be co-directing
Every-
Untitled Frank Bullet Project, which is what is listed as his upcoming director credit.
Oh,
nothing
nice.
else.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
Napoleon, which is a TV miniseries, which he will be directing, looks like.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, cool.
All right.
Steven
Well,
Spielberg,
everyone-
guys, if you want to watch some movies of his, we've given you plenty of recommendations, and if you've already seen some, give him a rewatch. You know, he's a pretty good guy. He's pretty good at, come on.
Right. What are you doing?
What are
Hey,
you doing?
if you don't watch him, Marty Scorsese's going to come
And-
over and he's going to make you watch his movies.
And do remember that this
Departed.
weekend,
The Departed.
a movie that will certainly be on the same caliber of Steven Spielberg movies comes out, which is Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods.
Let's
Is
go.
this
So
Bro,
be sure
he
to
could've
go
done
check
one.
that out in theaters.
I don't
I know
should've
I
done
will.
that at all. I
Yeah,
don't want
we
to
can
go
do it next
at
week.
all.
We'll do it next week. We'll do that as our episode next week.
I don't want to.
Just kidding, because I don't want to make you two watch it, and I don't think I'm gonna watch it either, to be honest. But
Okay.
it does come out, so
That's
I hope
good.
it gets a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude. Well,
It
James
certainly
Gunn
will.
keeps talking about how it's like super important
No.
to the plans
No.
going forward.
that's BS. He says that about The Flash, not about Shazam 2.
He said it about Shazam. Look it
No,
up.
there is
James
no
Gunn
shot.
talked
I
about
will bet
Shazam.
you any amount of money he did not say that. That whole thing is getting retconned immediately after it comes out and bombs, because it is not going to be good. I hope
He's
it
like,
is.
well, that wasn't that. So that
They had to,
plan
I had to
wasn't-
say that so that I wouldn't get fired by Warner Brothers.
That's exactly what it is. He's like, when he was talking about the movies, he's like, yeah, we've got Shazam coming out. We've got Flash, which I really liked. I'm really excited
Yeah.
for you guys to see it. And then we got Blue Beetle and we got Aquaman. So, there's clearly one that he cares about more than the others.
Freaking Blue Beetle and Aquaman. Those movies are gonna suck.
I don't think they're going to.
Wasn't Aquaman supposed to come out like more than a year ago?
It was supposed to come out in December of last year.
Okay.
Instead, it comes out in December of this year.
It's a good sign.
It'll be right
All
around
right.
the time World War IV starts.
Thanks for listening.
What?
Yeah, the third one's
We're close.
The third one
The
is only
third
going to
one
last 3
starts-
months.
tomorrow. Today for the listeners.
Well, no, tomorrow. Today is today.
I know. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well,
Well,
thanks for listening. And
Goodbye,
we'll see you
love
next
you.
week. Bye.
bye.
Bye.